For the second part of our lesson, where we are developing our ability to use colour pencils, we have moved on from blending and now we are going to look at shadows and highlights. Shadows are the darker part of any one object and the highlights are the lightest parts, where generally the natural light, the sunlight, or even the light in a room like this would hit that object most. Let's have a look how we do it. The reason we looked at blending first is because blending can have a part of the process when we are adding shadows and highlights to an object. So I have 4 circles here that I'm going to turn into spheres. One of the first things I need to do is I'm going to determine where the sun is on this object. So I'm going to put a nice happy little sun which is shining down on top of this sphere here. So that gives me a good impression of where the highlight or the lighter part of the work should be and where the darker part should be, that area that's getting less light. Say for example I want this to be light blue. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to start by trying to follow the shape of the object, because that makes it look more 3D, by shading in a circular motion. I'm going to move the paper around as I'm doing this. Down here is the darker part. I'm going to start with the darker part for now. There's a few things I can do. I can apply pressure. I can follow the curve of that object, and by applying pressure, I'm very naturally creating a shadow. As I ease off that pressure as it gets to other sections around it, it creates a little bit of a blend where it blends from the dark blue into the light blue. But what about highlights though? Well, shadows are relatively easy. We just press harder and make it darker. We've already got a layer of colour over here. We can't make it lighter, so what do? Well, the secret is to use an eraser on a pencil or a larger one. You want to try and figure out all the sections where the light is hitting, and then all we're going to do is we are going to erase that section. And that presents us with a nice highlight and shadow. Of course, we can do a little bit more work into this. In fact, this does need a little bit of work because the darker section going into the lighter section is still a little bit too much of a jump from dark to light. And I might not be happy with the fact I've lost most of my blue. I might choose to put a little bit of it back in to blend it into that area. But that is a general process of how you can go from a shadow to a highlight in your work.